So I made a comment to my last video that this is going to be a light go-kart. I'm going to try to keep this build as light as I can. However, I don't have a very good tubing bender. I just have this old pipe bender. So I'm going to use pipe instead of tubing, so it's going to add a lot of weight. But it's what I have to work with at this point in time. Hopefully I can get myself a nice tubing bender for my future builds. Tabs. Not the funnest part, but it's got to get done. the seat I want to put on here has been back ordered forever. I don't know if it's ever coming back into stock, so I'm just going to mock up a seat that I have here right now, temporary, so I can take some measurements off so I can finish building my cage. Hopefully, if that seat ever comes back in stock, they're going to be close to the same seat height. We'll have to wait. Won't weld anything in solid just yet. So I got partway through building this frame and got so frustrated using my old pipe bender to make these bends. It's very difficult to try to get nice clean bends with a pipe bender. So I broke down and bought this guy, which is something I've always kind of wanted. And hopefully it does what I want it to do. I've made one test bend with it here so far, and it did a nice job. There's no kinking and nice smooth bends. This is pipe, and I'm putting it through a tubing bender, so it's a little bit bigger diameter than this die. I didn't know if it would work. It just scratched the edges a little bit. It's just nothing you could quickly clean up, so I'll use up the rest of my pipe before I go and buy tubing. This machine didn't come with a handle, so I just quickly fabricated this out of some scrap metal, which is, it's like a nice big handle on there. Works good. Technically, it's supposed to be bolted to a floor. I'm not going to bolt it to my floor because I have heated floors in here. That I don't want it in one fixed location. So today my plan is I'm going to extend my legs out with these and probably put some casters on there so I can roll it around easy. And eventually, hopefully, get like the air over hydraulic ram for this. But for now, I'll just hand bomb it and see where I can get with it. So I got my extended legs on there, rolls around really nice, so that's kind of handy. I was a little bit out, so I had to shim this guy and this guy a little bit. It's still out a wee bit, so for right now I just stuck some shims under the wheels there just to try it out, see how it's gonna work. It's sitting pretty level right now, so that's good. The other thing too is the floor in this garage isn't level. It's all sloped towards the drain, so it's probably never going to be perfect. We're just not going to rock a little bit. It'll be nice, like I say, once I eventually get a hydraulic ram on there, then it won't really matter as much. But I'm curious to see how it's going to work now when I start pulling on that handle. I guess we'll find out shortly. So other than one trial bend, this is going to be the first time I'm actually going to try to make a real bend with this thing that counts. I melted my snozzle. I have lots to learn. I've never used one of these before. This is like my first time. And I'm not really sure exactly where to measure to yet to get my bend the way I want. So this is just trial and error. I'm going to waste a little bit of material here, but you got to learn somehow. So let's see what happens here. I want to see how much spring back I get on this too, because like I say, this is all new to me right now. So, okay, get her to 60. Well, not much spring back actually. Pretty minimal. Half a degree maybe? Yes, 74. There is very, very little spring back on here. I thought there'd be more than that. Okay, well that's 74. Let's see how that turned out. So here's a little bit of advice. Don't be a dummy like me. Make sure you know where you left your sanding belt before you weld a hoop on the back, because that one still had life in it. These darn things are expensive, you dummy. You welded that sucker right in there. So I'm really still trying to get used to this machine, how it works. I mean, I have a idea how it works. I've watched videos of people using these. Like I said, this is my first experience with it, so it's still a learning experience. I'm trying to figure out where I need to measure from and stuff to get the bends where I want them. And yeah, it's a bit interesting. Okay, I think that'll work. I think I'm happy with that. This piece just about killed me. I've modified that thing so many times today. I originally welded it back here. It was too close. I didn't like the way it looked. It made the aesthetics didn't look good, and it was just, I figured it was gonna be impossible to get in and out of this thing. The steering wheel was too close to me. So I think that's better, hopefully. So in my first episode, if you watched, when I started this project, I wasn't really sure what I was going to use for a motor. I have this old 540 Yamaha motor kicking around that needs a rebuild on it. And I was sitting on the fence whether or not to use this motor or not, because I didn't know how much work it was going to take. But then I happened to come across another find. So I think I will definitely be going with a 540 motor, maybe just not this one. So when I decided I was going to go with this motor, which who knows, that could still even change yet, but I know I have to rebuild this thing and stuff like that. But since then, I have actually picked up this old beater, which actually has the same size motor in it, which runs, of course. But it is winter in the Great White North right now, so I don't want to cannibalize this quite yet, because I might play with it a few times this winter before I rip it all apart. And knowing my luck, I'll take it out and blow the motor up. So hopefully that doesn't happen. So I think this is a good place to end this episode. I got a chassis that's starting to take a little bit of shape. When I first started this, I didn't know what I was going to use for a motor. I decided I'm going to go with that old 540. Well, I'm not going with the actual old 540 motor I have, because now I have a fresh one that runs. That motor is originally out of I believe a 1982 Yamaha SRV. I don't know the actual horsepower on that thing. I can't really find any specs on it. I think it's somewhere, low 50s, maybe somewhere between 50 to 60 horsepower. I really don't know. If anybody's watching this actually knows, leave me a comment. I'd like to know exactly what that motor is. Anyhow, chassis starting to look like something, so I'm kind of stoked about that. I also am definitely rethinking some things, because I didn't think originally I was going to put that much horsepower on there. So the little, front control arms that I made up there for this thing, I'm probably not going to use those. I'm probably going to build like a double A arm setup with this. And I think the overall size of this is probably going to be a little bit bigger than what I originally had planned, because that's more power than I was originally planning on using. But it should make it fun. Alrighty, so if you liked, again, subscribe, leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, and come back for more. Have a good one.